Assalamualaikum and good evening, Prof. Dr. Aini. So this video is for video critics subject ELC650. And I am Noedina binti Muhammad NAZRI. My student ID will be 2022909867. And with me today is my partner.
Hello, my name is Hafidz Izdihar bin Abdul Fattah, and my metric number is 2022786717. I'll be passing to IRDINA on the introduction.
Yes. First of all, we'll be talking about the information of our excerpts or our YouTube video, which is a YouTube video produced by the YouTuber Daman Studios with the followers of 20.4 million. The exact excerpt that we use is with the views of 20 million and the likes of 359K. The date produced is 2nd December 2020, which is quite recent still. The trivia is this YouTuber Daman react incidents that happens daily, either in workspace or at the store or everywhere in real life, and added on scenarios of consequences with the concept of karma to educate the watchers of consequences, karma, pure value of manners, and being kind, the importance of those values. So the synopsis here, for short, that we choose to talk a video that talks about gendered racism that happens in workspace. It happens mainly with Roy and Peyton. Roy is the boss here, and Peyton is the female employees that are facing gendered racism actions by her boss. So this goes on until Peyton lost her patience. She chose to take an action by resigning from the boss's company and started her own architecture company, as she is an architecture designer. So there is negative incidents and positive incidents in this video. So I shall be starting first with the negative incidents. Okay, I have snippets. Take a look. Okay, so that will be the snippets. So what is the negative incidents? The mainly talked about incident here is the gender racism in workspace. So as we can see, the treatment from Roy is unfair. So it's Peyton, and it's unfair because Connor is also late like Peyton, but Roy let it slide. So Roy's treatment as a boy, Roy's treatment as a boss is mainly based on gender, which is unfair towards the female employee and fair and kind towards the male employee. As we can see, that is the negative incident, gender racism in workspace. What is the effect on this? The female employee, which is Peyton, work shall be affected. Less quality in the work done by female employee due to the unfair treatment by Roy. So if a female employee is being reasonable, it's being late with a reason, and the boss treated very, very, very obviously unfair, of course, the female employee felt down, unmotivational, uninspired. Therefore, if they felt like that, they felt like there's no reason for them to pour out their full potential on their work to make it quality for the boss, because the boss did not appreciate them. So that is the effect of Roy's action. So what is the recommendation? What should Roy do? Roy, as the boss, must be fair towards all employees despite their genders. If any employee comes in late, both should be advised. Furthermore, Roy should be more reasonable if Payne comes in late for the first time due to inevitable reason. Roy should not be harsh, and vice versa. What it meant by vice versa here is that Roy should be treating his employee fairly, because we can see Peyton this is her first time being late due to the train being out of schedule. Therefore, if it's being out of schedule, it can be shown that it's unforeseen incident and it's beyond Peyton's control. Therefore, it's a reasonable reason, justifications that she's being late, and the boss Roy should be understanding. And if Connor's reason of being late is unreasonable, like I wake up late or so on, Roy should be able to advise Connor as he has the authority to do so. So Roy should be understanding and handle the situation fairly. Okay, let's take a look at the next snippets for the next point for negative incidents. Okay, so what is the negative incidents happening here? It's unethical behavior. We can stop and realize crystal clear that when Peyton comes to talk to him, he still had his feet up his desk. We can see that Peyton have to go across his feet in order to be able to converse with Roy and give Roy her documents of designs, and which is very unethical, lack of professionalism as a boss. And moreover, it shows that Roy did not respect his employee. If someone had the sane of mind, they would put their feet down to be able to talk properly, not just bosses, even within employees. So what is the effect of Roy's action? Peyton might lose her respect towards Roy because the respect is not mutual. Why should she would felt fed up, and she would feel like why should she give respect to someone who's not respecting her? Therefore, losing employees' respect might cause Roy, as the boss, to lose his credibility as a boss, because the employee have the power to not care and not respect the boss anymore. And once that is lost, Roy will lose his credibility as a boss. So again, the good thing, what Roy is supposed to do, the recommendations here, Roy should put his feet down his desk when Peyton comes in and talks to him directly, so that Peyton will not be facing Roy's feet and be able to talk more professionally. Therefore, to able to converse with boss and employee, one's feet should not be up. It should be down. And that is the most common ethical professionalism behavior. Even at home, not at the workspace, even at home, we should put our feet down when someone is talking towards us. So last, for the negative incidents, let's take a look at the snippets. Okay, it seems like a positive incident, but we can see the negative side of it. Is stereotypical or unprofessional communication. Roy spit out the word woman and associated with business with a face expression that shows clear underestimation, shows that Roy underestimated Peyton and stereotyped her to not be able to thrive in business simply because she's a woman. Roy also laughs at Payne when she said she's going to open her own business. This is not the first time Roy talked to Peyton like that. The previous two snippets, we can see Roy is stereotyping his female employee by saying, "Why are you late doing your makeup the whole morning?" That is stereotyping all women to do makeup slow, and that what causes the woman to be late. And then second, saying that what's with you women, the second snippet, what's with you women, the field of constant changing, shows stereotyping women to always wanting to change things and not following orders. Those are very uncalled for, especially in workspace between boss and employee, which Roy should actually be fair. It shows that when underestimation can affect a lot. So let's see what's the effect is. Other female respectful employee shall lose respect to Roy, and they shall be inspired with Peyton's action by resigning, and they might follow Peyton and work with her instead of Roy. This is actually what really happens in the video, because the other female employee will feel like they were also felt the effect of being stereotyped, and it will hurt them by the heart, and they will resign, and Roy will lose his female employee, which actually the female employee plays a significant role in the company. Therefore, in order for Roy to thrive in his business, he should not be stereotyping and communicate unprofessionally, especially towards the female employee. That really happens in the video. So what should Roy do? In order to Roy as a boss for an architecture business, hence Roy needed both female and male employee. Plus, Roy should not underestimate his employee, either male or female employee. He should never underestimate. He should actually guide, lead, and push their employees to do better, not underestimate and push them down. So Roy should appreciate the employee's work in order for the employee to produce more quality designs for him. So in order for the benefit goes vice versa, the employee got their salary, the boss got their designs. So it's a mutual respect, and it should be professional in workspace, so that Roy business of architecture can thrive when he pushes, guide, and lead his employee despite gender. But in this case, the most significant we can see is towards Peyton, and her design was great. That will be the last for negative incidents, and I will pass the floor to my partner Hafidz for positive. Please.
Thank you, Dina, for presenting the negative critical incidents there. Now, I will be presenting on the positive critical incidents, where, next slide, where the first one we can see is that, next slide, please.
Okay.
All right. Where stand against workplace bullies. Here, after Roy's statements, which is by saying that sometimes a job requires a suit, not a skirt. It shows that really that Roy has this bias in terms of gender, rather than focusing on performance of his employees. Where, okay, it says that shows that the prejudice towards women in the workplace. Due to that statement, Peyton decides to quit her job, as she sees that there is no reason for her to work with a toxic employer, which shows that Peyton make a great decision where she stands tall against bullies in the workplace, where Peyton knows she should put in all her hard work and talent to the people who notice it, rather than waste her time working with a company that did not validate her job. That is truly based on her performance. So this teach us how motivate us, where when we're being bullied in workplace, in other places, we need to stand our ground, and we need to show that we don't need to have show that we are weak. We need to show that we have some quality in us. We have our talent. We have our we work hard for something that we pursue in. So it's something that teaches us, that Peyton teaches us to be brave to face against bullies. The effect of this, we can see that it will improve Peyton's confidence and motivations, and in performing her job without being criticized based on biasness, not based on criticism, not based on performance. If it's being criticized based on her performance, like her work ethics and everything, which is logical. But if she's being criticized by her gender, it's quite unreasonable. So that is the one of the positive incidents, critical incidents that we can see here. Next, for the second critical incidents, where consistent with good working environment, where Peyton continues as she quits from Roy's company. She continues to work hard on the project she made, and at the same time, she creates her own company. She stays consistent with her work in a good working environment where there's no gender criticisms, where she only focuses on performance. Whereas Roy, in this situation, we can see in the video that he's frustrated about Connor's performance, lack of performance in doing his job properly. The effect of this, that the former female employee, which is Peyton itself, continues to improve herself and makes her own business in the same field as her former employer, which is Roy. The employer is having shady businesses, as his new employee Connor has like working performance, meaning to say that this teaches us that when we being consistent, work hard in a good working environment, there will be development there, rather than you stay in somewhere that has a bad working environment that demotivate their employees. That is something unreasonable and that needs to be improved. It teaches all of us, not in groups, in companies, employer needs a good employees. So they need to motivate their employees. And lastly, the positive incidents that we can see here is success is not based on gender. Where this is the best moment where after Peyton quits her job in working with Roy, her career becomes more successful. She then bought the office that belongs to Roy's company due to she wanted to expand her businesses. She confronts Roy, but Roy still denies her success. Peyton tells Roy by saying, sometimes jobs require skirts, not suit. This message is a reminder to Roy of what he said before towards Peyton. The effect of this, you can see that the career path between Peyton and Roy has changed as Peyton began to improve and Roy begins to lose his business. This is because Roy's attitudes towards women in workplace is not professional, but more discrimination. To conclude here, there's much we can learn from this video excerpts in terms of professional, unprofessional behavior in workplace. This video excerpts highlights the importance of work ethics, empathic communication, body language, the personality in workplace. We can conclude that all these aspects of communication not only impact our relationship with others, but also teach us to communicate effectively. We must remember that when interacting professional, we have to show respect by listening attentively and observing politeness in every aspect of our communication. And that is all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.